Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since we've done this. Yes. And by that, you have to refer to a previous video made last year around this time. So what happens around this time of year? Tax time. Yes. There's only two things that are sure in life: death and taxes. But sometimes with taxes, you get a return, a sizable one where you can purchase goods or items that you've always wanted to do but just couldn't jump the gun or pull the trigger, if you will, right off the bat, like during regular season. But when you have an access for refund, you don't want to spend it all. So unlike last time, which I bought obviously my current gaming computer as well as the quintessential quintuplets pop-up parade movie set, I didn't spend as much money this time. There was only really one thing in my mind that I pseudo needed / wanted, and it's right here. And we are going to unbox it. Yes, this is an unboxing video of sorts, but I'm going to also try to demonstrate what this thing does. And if you're an owner of 9th gen hardware, more than likely the PS5 in this case, you're probably wondering, well, maybe you aren't wondering how to expand the drive. You can expand the drive by buying an SD memory, but then you have to like open the console, and then you have to make sure that it's like there's no static electricity in your body, and those are pretty expensive. And that's if you want to actually expand the internal storage on the PS5. But what I have here is a external gaming drive, and this is formatted for the PlayStation 5, and it is 8 terabytes. Because 9th gen games, they aren't peanuts. They're really big in terms of size. Think about FF7 Rebirth. That's almost 150 gigs alone. And I'm not sure if I'm doing my math right when I'm converting gigabytes to terabytes, but 8 terabytes is a lot. And primarily this is used for storage, to store your installed games when you're not using them. So you might have like a buttload of games in your library, but obviously you don't have enough space to install them all. So this kind of helps with stuff to be installed, to store, and then just move it over when you're ready to play it. And then it gives you that much storage space for all your games. So we're gonna unbox this, and then we are going to look at how it works, and then I'm going to give you a review on it. So let's go over there and we'll unbox this bad boy. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to How I Spent My Tax Return 2024 edition. So obviously I've been thinking about this for a while as to there's many games I have in my PS5 library. Well, maybe not so many, but I have enough that I'll fill up that peanut drive that's installed on it. And I always thought that the only way to expand the storage space for the PS5 was to actually swap out the internal SSD and get yourself a bigger one. But the problem is SSD is not a how do I say this correctly? It's not common in everything. Like it's like, think about it this way. 4K used to be not common, not everybody could get one, but then the prices came down, it became more common, and it's easy to get a 4K, and now we have 8K. So I don't think everybody is up to date with SSD as a memory format. Like, it's out there, but it's an expensive format. So in order to expand the drive on the PS5 originally, you have to upgrade the SSD, and those memory expansions can be expensive, and they're not very big. Like, they range from 2 terabyte to I think to 4 terabyte I've seen, but I haven't seen anything above that. And gaming, at least in ninth generation terms, games are getting bigger and bigger and more expensive to make. So why spend like almost $1,000 just to give yourself that little bit of extra space? And frankly, a lot of people are complaining that ninth gen gaming has been mostly a miss with very few hits in between. Like, most of the stuff that we get these days, there's like PS4 versions or Xbox One versions of ninth gen stuff. So why are we investing in this? But there are some things that, warrant this kind of purchase. And for me, FF7 is obviously, that's my reason. But obviously the PS5 games run better and have better frame rates, better loading times, those things of those nature. But obviously, as I said, the internal storage on both 9th gen consoles is basically peanuts to me. So, without further ado, we're going to open this bad boy, see what it contains, and then we're going to try and do a not a stream, but just show you footage of like how to use this, and I'll give you a price point and maybe see if it's worth your while if you want to expand your storage capacity on your PS5. So I'm sorry, I forgot my knife over by the table. So, I don't even think I need to slice this open because this is, well, maybe I do a little bit. So, there is a seal on it. So, but before we do that, just to read what's on the box. So, this is HDD Gear Pro X external gaming storage. Oh, this is just all the technical data. So, it says here, Avolusion HDD Gear Pro X HDD Goo 3 Pro X white. It's white. External gaming storage system is an external hard drive storage solution featuring a USB 3.0 interface with transfer rates up to 5 gigabits per second. This is the value hard drive kit. Provides the best and easy solution to expand your game console storage capacity instantly. Plug and play USB 3.0 interface, providing a perfect portable storage solution for you to store and back up your game data, music, picture, video, and more. Yes. But the reason why I bought this, I like the games I do have, and even though my library is very small, if I were to try and install everything, it wouldn't fit on the peanut drive, especially because FF7 is so big. Just think about like if when GTA comes out, how big that will be. So obviously, it comes with a README, so about extended storage, info from PS5 website. So this drive, the difference between, let's take the PlayStation 4 for example. Most of you can just buy any external hard drive and it'll usually work. But you can play the games off the drive. This one, for PS5 stuff, it can only store the PS5 games, but it can store and play PS4 games if you choose to. So that is one bonus for that. And obviously, you can also use with the PS5, you can also use an external drive for your PS4 games. So, but let's take a look at it here. It actually kind of looks almost like a mini PS4 when you think about it by design. So for best performance, it says connect the PS5 USB hard drive to the rear Type A port. Super speed use 10 gigabytes per second. Front USB port will not support USB-H. So if you're going to use this for optimal performance, it's best to plug in on the USBs in the back of the console. So what does it come with? So put the drive down there. It also comes with a stand, so you can stand it vertically, kind of like your PS4, if you wish to do it that way, or if you want to lie it on its side, that's fine, but I'm going to store it vertically, obviously, to save space. And so obviously here's your connection cable, the USB, so this will go into the unit, and then this will go into the back of the PS5. And then, as usual, why do they do this? Why can't we just get a simple this part and not this brick shit? But that's really, so far, the only negative thing I have to say about this. And I guess this is to stick it down, but it also comes with a user manual, so if you're in the know and you want to read it before you install it, or hook it up, if you will, then you can do that. So without further ado, I'm going to do a little bit of reading, and then when we come back, I'm gonna show you it powered on with the PS5. Be right back, friends. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel and to the demonstration of the, what's it called again? I can't remember the name. Avolusion, 8 terabyte storage device or hard drive for your PlayStation 5. Now, I was looking into the notes of the manual on what to do, before you hook it up, just for safety reasons, and you don't want to screw up the drive or anything like that. And I learned that this product actually is pre-formatted for the PlayStation 5, so they already did the formatting for you, so you don't have to do it. So when you plug it in, it should usually show up already, like in your extended storage in your PlayStation 5 settings. So if you bought like a version that's for the Xbox, it should already be pre-formatted and you don't have to do it. But of course, if it doesn't recognize it, then you have to format it yourself. But in the manual, it states firmly to, specifically, to connect the drive when it's off, like with all its connections, like connecting it to a power source, and then turning it on before you actually turn on your console itself. So we've done that in the previous section of this video. I've talked about that, and I've shown you a little bit of the basic ins and outs of like how to actually move stuff. So, but I'm going to show you again, because now, last night I've basically created space on the console storage in order to have room for future stuff, like if I buy stuff, like I have Stellar Blade coming at the end of the month, and we just got the trophy listing for that this past weekend, so we know what the achievements entail, but we don't know how big the game actually is, like in terms of file size and that kind of thing. So I figure it can't be as big as FF7 Rebirth, but who knows, it could be just as big, you never know. But it's also been rumored that the game will take about, I think it was 25 hours for the main campaign, and then closer to 50 to like if you're trying to platinum it. Anyway, so welcome back to PlayStation. And if this, wow, this is taking a long time. Okay, so I've installed a bunch of things I couldn't before, namely like Demon Souls right there in the corner. And if you look now, I'll just zoom in a bit. I normally would try and do this via a capture card where you could see the whole screen, but I'm having connection problems with either the software or the capture card, so I might go out today because it's a weekend and just talk shop with some of the guys at Canada Computers on what I can do to solve that problem and get back in the streaming game. But either way, if you had, like, when you install PlayStation 4 games on an external drive for your PS5 and stuff, they will still appear in the menu, but they'll have that little extended storage icon beside the, in this case, because Demon Souls is on a disc, the game is in extended storage. But as you know, you can't play the PS5 games from the drive itself like you can your PS4 games. The PS5, when you put them on the drive, is only for storage to save up space on the internal storage. So internal storage for playing and external for storage and future use moving. So I've kept Demon Souls, no, not Demon Souls, FF7 Remake, because there's no oh, it is, I moved it there too. It'll show everything, Crisis Core. So I've pretty much, I think I only put 4 titles on the actual console storage itself. So I'll show you that right now, which titles those are. So if you go to your settings icon in the top left corner right here, and then go to your storage tab, and then it'll list what's on the console and then what's on extended. So before I installed the drive, or before I got this drive, the console storage was next to full. I could have installed Demon Souls, but I would have no room for any new things coming in. So main reason basically why I bought this drive. And if you're wondering, I kind of just woke up not too long ago and I still have this kind of congested feeling, but that'll pass. So apologies for that. But if you see the size of the console storage is not really that big. It's only about, it's not even a terabyte. It's 667.2 gigs, and I think they advertise it as 800, something like that. So, but we've freed up 400 gigs of space by moving stuff. So if you go into USB extended storage, there's the drive, and it's 7.35 terabytes. It's advertised as 8 because most times when you get or buy a product that says a specific number, it's always going to show as slightly less than that. And look at that. That's, if I was to look at that line and then divide it up, that's not even, how can I put this? How small that is. It's just relative. I don't think it's even 25, not even 10%. It's got to be less than 10%. And this is what I've put on there, and I'm going to show you. So Stranger of Paradise, or Final Fantasy 1, or Reimagining, that's the first thing I moved in the previous section. That's 82 gigs. Final Fantasy 16 is 90. River City is small. It's for Valkyrie, which is a digital game. That's 3. You can even move Astro's Playroom. Astro's Playroom is only 11. Astro's Playroom is bigger than River City. Wow. River City 1, 3.2. Crisis Core is 21 gigs. FF7 Remake is 90, and Demon Souls is 53. Even though, like stated on the actual game itself, they have a specific number. Like I think Demon Souls was stated around 60, which was how I knew I had enough available space to actually install it, but would have nothing afterwards. So we've got. Did it even say how much? There, we've got about 359 gigs. That's how much we put onto this 8 terabyte drive. So there's plenty of space. And I have not that many games. I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8 physical, and I have a few digital. Because obviously it came with Astro's Playroom. But what I'm going to show you now is how to actually move stuff to and from the drive if you need to. So in order to move, so let's move something from Avolusion to PS5. So when you click this, well, let's just sort. You can click whatever you want. So let's click something small. So let's click River City. So we'll click River City and we select items to move. So it's selected. So now it's 3.24 gigs. So there on the right you can see how much space is in the extended storage as well as how much space is stored on your PS5. So you click move. You select it to move to console storage. So when you say OK, this will show up and you can't exit out of this. But because this is so small, just for time's sake, I feel congested probably because I have like a snot thing going on right now. So there you go. So now it's on the console. So if you check in console storage, there it is, 3.78. And if we go back to our main menu, when we look at it, it just has the disc icon, which means it's on the console. So that means that you can play it. So if you want to move it back or move it to the drive to save up space on your same thing, storage, select console, pick your game. So now it's selected, move. And even it says, in order to play them, move it to your console storage. So because it's relatively small, it takes next to nothing to do it. And you can move multiple things, and that's what I did, but that took a little while because it was a lot to move. And I almost fell asleep waiting for it, but it wasn't super slow like when you're trying to update something on an Xbox or anything like that. So now we only have Genshin, Valkyrie, and Rebirth. I figured it didn't really make sense to move Genshin, so. And there you have it. That's how it actually works. It does say in the manual though, when you turn off your console, or I guess it also includes if you put it into rest mode, because it didn't say anything about rest mode, like when it's got the orange bars on it, whether to turn off the drive itself. So the only time I would really have the drive powered up in this case is if I'm actually using the console. Well, technically I guess you don't really need to power it on if you're not using it to move to and fro, but it's up to you, I guess. That's just to preserve it, keep it from failing, if you will. But for the most part, I'm satisfied with what it has done. It has freed up my space for games I like to install. Definitely Stellar Blade, and probably the Final Fantasy VII Remake project's final part, which has been confirmed to have already been well underway and started. That it might even come out 1 year earlier than it was anticipated to come out in 2028. But now they're saying it might come out in 2027 because we have all the same team of developers. So that's cool. But yeah, this is a really cool thing to have, and it's relatively inexpensive. It's definitely better for your budget rather than going to invest in expanding the actual console storage by getting those soap bar memories. They're only go to 1 or 2 terabyte at most, and they could cost close to $1,000 for some of them. So it's totally up to you, but I think this is the easier option and more simple way to do it. Specifically also with most of these consoles, like the PlayStation 4 as well. The only difference is that an external drive you can, I think, buy up to 4 terabytes I don't think I've seen bigger than 4, but I know that you probably can do the same thing and buy a drive like this, just to show you where the drive is. There's the drive there, and it's turned on, and it's standing upright, and it's all pretty and blue looking. So that is it for this video. I will give you my final thoughts when we come back. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the final portion of the video, the review. So, for this nice little trinket here, the Avolusion external gaming storage drive. Expand your game storage exponentially, and I'm really happy with this because, you know, I think most people, they're on the fence about whether to expand the external storage on their PlayStation 5 by, you know, opening it up and then like totally removing all the static electricity from your body before you actually introduce this little soap bar external storage. That is quite expensive, so just for a few, a terabyte or two, I think the most that you can see. But this bad boy, this is 8 terabytes, and that will last you for a long time. And that's the main reason why I got it, because I probably could also use it for PlayStation 4 stuff, as if I wanted to play PlayStation 4 on my PlayStation 5, but I have a PlayStation 4 and I have a 4 terabyte external drive there, and that's plenty of space for what I've got, and I'm still, you know, going to gaming shows and, you know, buying old PlayStation 4 games for cheap or whatnot. And I still have tons of space, and I can play them on the drive. So the selling point for me for this was basically freeing up the console storage for, you know, when that new game comes in this case Stellar Blade, I have space to actually install it and play it, let alone also to expand my PS5 library with games I've wanted to play, like Horizon or Sackboy or Kenna, or those are games I want to play. That might not be what you want to play, but you know, like games that it's sad to say. It's not sad to say, but the truth is the games of the 9th gen are massive in terms of file size and how much space they take up on the console storage. And eventually, if you like to play everything, you're going to have to expand the drive, like the console storage, or get an external thing where you can store the stuff you're not currently playing. And I know it's nice to like on PlayStation 4, for example, to have everything at your fingertips, if you will, and play it as you see fit. But, you know, with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, that's just not possible to install everything and have access to it all the time. So you have access to it, but it's stored somewhere for your use so that you could just move it in and out between the drive and the console in order to play it. And I think 8 terabytes, it is a lot, and I wanted a lot of space. Just, you never know how much stuff you're going to consume or how much stuff you're going to buy. It's done its job for the most part, and I like that it's easy to install. Like, you literally, I didn't install it, I just hooked it up. Well, first and foremost, hook up your hookups, so like your power cord, your USB device, and recommended, as I said in the beginning of the video, it will not really work if you use that USB in the front, the one you have for your controller charging cable. It's better to use the two in the back, the USB 3s. So that's how you would connect it. And then when you're not using it, obviously, you would turn off the drive. Well, I turn off the console first and then turn off the drive. But for the most part, I rarely turn off the PS5. I usually keep it in rest mode, but for this case, I think I'm going to start actually turning it off. And the Xbox, it always just turns off. It's not really in rest mode. But things I like about this, it's easy to use. In this case, we don't have to install it, but it's easy to install, I guess, if you want to put it that way. It's lightweight, and it comes with some pretty good accessories. Like if you want to position the drive horizontally instead of vertically. Like, let's say you have your PlayStation 5 set up horizontally instead of vertically, you can put it like that. But with me, it's quite small and quite it's quite ergonomical, and it doesn't take up a lot of space, and that's a plus. Price point, it's relatively inexpensive. I had it on my wish list for quite some time, maybe a few months, and it was jumping from over 200 to less than 200, and this is before shipping and taxes and stuff. So, but obviously I got it on Amazon, so I got free shipping, which is good with Prime. But when I got it, I paid about 220 for it, like literally after taxes. But list price was like 197. Stuff on Amazon goes down all the time, and I do apologize for this tripod, which is moving in and out. But yeah, the price point was pretty good. The only real thing I did not like about the drive, and this is just a thing with me and electronics, is that the power adapter is a brick. And I'm not talking about your NES style brick, like the really big thick one, but it's still, it's a hindrance, because most of the consoles and stuff these days, their power bars, with the exception of Nintendo, are just the end plug, the two-prong thing. So why couldn't we make the drive like that, But there's probably some technical issue I'm not looking into as to why it is a brick. It has to be a brick. But in my mind, I like to be able to plug in stuff on power bars that have a ton of outlets and stuff like that. So that was really the only negative thing, as you could see in the video, that I did not like, based on when we were opening it up and looking at all the stuff. So but I definitely would recommend this to anybody who has a storage problem on their PS5 and wants to have more space to not only install games on their drive, but also to amass a library of stuff, And it's relatively inexpensive, so it won't break your bank or anything like that, and you'll be happier to have that space for when that new game comes out. So that's it for the review / how I spent my tax return video on the Avolusion 8TB external hard drive for a PlayStation 5. And I'm sure that Avolusion also has additional products, like I think there's probably an Xbox drive too, so if you want to expand the Xbox Series X as well as the older generation or previous generation, like I already have a external for my PS4. I am looking one for my Xbox One specifically to expand, because between the Xbox Series X and Xbox One I have more games for that, and I'm running low on space, and it's just a 1TB drive, so I am definitely going to look into that in the future. But thank you very much for checking out the video today. It's been a while, it's been a year for the tax return video, but you can look forward to some other content on the channel. Namely, I have some booty videos that I have not filmed yet, and I think I got 2 months worth of stuff, and this one, the drive, will definitely be in the next booty video, as well as Stellar Blade for sure. So stay beautifully imperfect out there. Take care of yourselves and each other. Be kind to yourselves and to each other. Remember, kindness is king, and you all keep up the awesomeness. And we will see you next time. Take care, everyone. Peace out.